Hello everyone. Today we are coming to learn another Python command. It is a Python function, user input. In addition to what we learned the last time, that is the print function. Today we'll be learning the input function. Now, what it does is that the input function accepts input from users, okay, into a program before it executes. So the program will ask for some information from you, you provide it, it stores it, and then it executes. Now I decided to go online to check what an input function is, how others too are giving definitions to that function. Now you can see the URL below. This is a definition that I got from one of the URLs I visited. It showed that the input function is used to ask the user a question and then wait for a typed response. The typed number is then returned as the result of the function and should usually be stored in a variable. Example, it give example age is equal to input and then you put it in a bracket, how old are you? So I want to talk about variables in this aspect. Since we are learning the input function, then variables comes as part of it. So when we say a variable is like a container, okay, a container that you put things inside. So for example, when we look at let's look at our daily lives like a basket. A basket can be considered as a variable because you can put in oranges, you can put in vegetables, you can put in mangoes, you can put in anything you want to put inside the basket. So the basket then is considered as a variable. So when you look at this example, you would realize that the age then represents the basket, okay, and then the input function showing the question how old are you. The how old are you is the question that will be asked you the user to provide the information. So it is saying that this age, which is the basket, should ask you what you want to put inside the basket. So when you say mangoes and you put mangoes inside, the mangoes are stored inside the age basket. So with this example, when we say age is equal to input into brackets, quotation marks, how old are you? When you provide the information that I am 30 years old, the 30 integer will be saved inside the age variable. Okay, now let's move on. Now it is time for us to code, and I tested it earlier on. Okay, so I typed user in equals input into bracket. I prefer the double quotation marks. Please enter a statement. Okay, so with this first line, the user is the variable. Okay, it is the basket that is expecting an information from you so that it can save that information for you. Now, when you enter any statement, it says you should please enter a statement. So when you enter any statement, that statement will be temporarily saved in the user container. Okay, now take a closer look at the input function, how it is typed. It is similar to the print function. The input, you type input into bracket, okay, make sure you have your double quotation marks, then you type in any questions that you want to type, okay, any information that you need from the user, you type it inside. You can see that there is a space in here, okay, so I want that when the user types the information on the screen, it shouldn't be too close to my question, so I gave it a space. Okay, then when the user does that and it is saved in there, you enter and it is saved in the user container, you will not see. Okay, as the program is running, you will not see. So now we want to see what the user actually typed inside type that was saved inside the user variable container. Okay, so then the print comes in. You remember in my last tutorial I showed you that the print command is used when you want to display, okay, a result, or you want to display um, an information on the screen. Okay, so now we want to display what the user typed that was saved in the user container. So then we bring in the print command into bracket user. You realize that with this command we didn't put in it in double quotation marks. Why? Because the user is a variable. Okay, the user is a container which is taking information. It is not a string. Okay, a string is a statement, okay, a word or a letter. But this one, the user is a container. So you don't need to put it in double quotation marks. That is why we have put in just the name there. Now you save this information, you run it, and you're expecting that the first thing you would see is the print, please enter a statement, asks you to enter any statement, you enter, and then it's supposed to print out whatever statement you entered that was saved in the user variable. Okay, all right. So let me repeat myself. If you want to print a variable, this is how you go about it. If you want to print any information, okay, any word, then you make sure that you put it in your bracket, you put it in double quotation marks, and you put the word in, just as how we tried it in our earlier tutorials. If you have not been able to go through that tutorial, do so, and that the tutorial I made concerning how to install your Notepad++ and how to create your Python script. Okay, so go back and watch that tutorial and you understand what I'm talking about. Thank you. So now this is what I did. When I go to Notepad++, you can see my user variable that I've created, and then the input function. Okay, and then what I've typed in there to show that this is what I want to ask my user. And then I've also added the second command that it should show, it should display on the screen what the user typed that was saved in the user container. Okay, the variable name, you can use any name. If you remember the PowerPoint presentation, and what I saw in this URL, the variable name was age. So for variable names, you can use any name you want. Okay, just make sure that if you type, let's say Abba here, you in the print command, you need to put Abba here. Okay, so now I've already showed you also on how to save your Python script. If you haven't watched, check the other videos and you will see. The next thing is for us to run the script and see if it is working. So as usual, we'll go to CMD, we change directly to the desktop. That's where I've saved it under my Python. Okay, now I type dir to check, to list the folders and the files to see if my file is there. Yes, my Python script is there. That is the inputter.py script. Okay, then I run it to see. So Python inputter.py. I enter OK. So now the question comes, please enter a statement. So creative brain, enter, and you can see that now it has printed out creative brain. So it saved the creative brain I entered into the user variable, and now the second command is I should print it out. It runs in sequential order. When I was giving you the definition of a Python script, it runs in sequential order. So the next command was that it should print the statement I have given that has been saved in the user variable, and that's the creative brain. So if I test again, I'll say Betty Techie. Okay, enter, and then it prints out Betty Techie. So thank you so much for watching this video. Very sorry for the background noise. Let us keep learning. Let us keep doing new things. Thank you.